Hey everyone, it's your girl Miss Analytical. I am back with another upload, and I'm gonna stay on this story. It's a lot of layers in this saga, and I'm gonna continue to report on this. I was gonna do it on my law, history, and politics channel, but I'm just gonna stick it with the main channel because I've talked about Megan before on this channel, so I'm gonna stick with it on this channel. So, according to the Rolling Stone magazine, it reads, Megan Thee Stallion's ex-assistant said Tory Lanez threatened her with gun in the car, prosecutors. And the ex-assistant is Kelsey Harris, who is the ex-best friend. So it reads, Megan Thee Stallion's former best friend, Kelsey Harris, took the witness stand at Tory Lanez's felony assault trial Wednesday as prosecutors revealed she gave a bombshell recorded interview in September claiming Lanez threatened to shoot her inside a Cadillac Escalade before he allegedly opened fire on Megan. Prosecutors played snippets of the interview during Harris's combative testimony as she confirmed she gave the detailed statement 3 months ago, but claimed the damaging account was not accurate and that she was not truthful that day to protect herself. Sitting steps away from a jury in a Los Angeles courtroom, Harris testified that she could no longer recall the alleged threat from Lanez inside the SUV and no longer remembers seeing him holding a gun or firing at Megan during an alcohol-fueled fight on July 12, 2020. In one portion of the recording played for jurors, he then reached like he was going to grab something from the SUV center console. Harris, 27, agreed she made the statement in September, but when Deputy District Attorney Kathy Ta asked her to describe the alleged threat for the jury, she clams up and claims some of those things I stated, they were not accurate. The night was a blur. We were under the influence, she said on the witness stand. When prosecutors confronted her with her recorded statement claiming she saw Lanez aiming the gun straight but always in a downward direction towards Megan, Harris reversed course again and said she didn't witness the shooting. She said a mix of anxiety, postpartum issues, and grief related to the death of someone close to her made it difficult for her to remember details and even focus on the questions of her direct examination Wednesday. What's going on with you today? Todd asked after Harris claimed she couldn't remember Megan being injured and bleeding profusely in the backseat of the Escalade. What happened between September and today? In September, when you spoke with us, you gave us a lot of detailed statements about what happened, right? Harris replied, yes, ma'am. What happened between September and today that you forgot everything? Todd asked. I told you what I'm going through, Harris said. But Harris did own up to sending the 3 lines of text messages to Megan's bodyguard that read, help, Tory shot Meg, 911. Within 5 minutes of the shooting, she said it was based on assumptions. Despite repeatedly asking Todd to repeat questions and saying she was zoning out on the witness stand, Harris was adamant she never touched a gun, so it was preposterous for the defense to claim she's the one who opened fire on Megan, wounding her in both feet during the roadside dispute 2 years ago. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Harris testified in the courtroom in downtown Los Angeles a day after Megan told jurors she saw Lanez point the gun and fired at her. Harris was suspected to be a key witness in the high-profile case because she's the only other close proximity eyewitness to the events leading up to the shooting, who's confirmed to testify at the trial beyond Megan herself. During opening statements, prosecutors said she would corroborate the claim that Lanez, whose real name is Daystar Peterson, was the triggerman. She was considered a wild card ahead of the trial because she was notably tight-lipped over the last 2 years and has become estranged from Megan despite their former 7-year friendship. When she first walked into the courtroom Wednesday, she was accompanied by criminal lawyer Daniel A. Nardoni. The lawyer said Harris planned to assert her Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Judge David Hereford said he conducted an in-chambers proceeding on the matter and determined Harris's concerns were legitimate. Prosecutors then said they will offer her use immunity for her testimony, as she was sworn in as a witness. I don't care to be here today, Harris told Todd minutes into her examination. She called the trial a triggering situation, saying she's suffering from anxiety and dealing with the birth of a child and a recent death. I don't want to be here. She then took aim at Megan. She's painted the picture that I betrayed her. She's painted the picture that I'm this bad person, bad friend, that I took hush money. There are many lies, she testified. Todd then asked Harris about other alleged lies. Were there accusations about you having shot Megan? She replied. There were, Harris replied. How do you feel about them? Todd inquired. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, Harris said. Peterson, 30, sat at the defense table during her testimony. The Love singer has pleaded not guilty to 3 felony charges alleging he shot Megan with a semi-automatic 9mm handgun, causing great bodily injury, concealed a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharged a firearm with gross negligence. If convicted as charged, the Alone at Prom rapper is facing the possibility of 22 years and 8 months in prison and subsequent deportation since he's a citizen of Canada. Dressed in a black ensemble with her hair in a bun, Harris told jurors she and Megan met Peterson at a Rock Nation brunch in 2020. She said Megan tried to set her up with him at first, and she engaged in a relationship with him that was more than a friendship, but then she caught COVID and was home in Houston for 2 or 3 months. She believes the dynamic between Megan and Peterson changed while she was away. She then described the gathering at Kylie Jenner's house that preceded the shooting. She said everyone was playing beer pong and having fun, but she described Megan's demeanor as being drunk and a little off. She said at some point she passed out inside. Peterson arrived at the mansion and asked how Peterson was acting, and she said Tory's doing his thing, being Tory, flirting. Who was he flirting with? Todd asked. He was flirting with Kylie, she replied. Harris testified once Megan said she was ready to leave, the 2 women departed with Peterson's driver, leaving Peterson behind. When Megan testified Tuesday, she disputed this detail, saying Peterson's driver refused to leave the party without his client. Harris says soon after she and Megan left Jenner's house the first time, Megan told the driver she forgot a slipper, so they returned. She said Megan went inside alone, and apparently a fight or something happened. She rushed out with Tory, she testified. She was like, bitch, Kylie said we got to get the fuck out. I was like, I'm confused. She said the trio then climbed into Peterson's Cadillac Escalade with the driver, Jaquan Smith, where everyone started arguing. The argument took place inside, carried on. She said, declining to get specific, there was so much going back and forth, name calling between me and Megan, Tory and Megan, Tory and me, Megan and Tory. Todd asked if Harris remembered Tory saying something to the effect of, Megan, why aren't you telling your friend about us? Yes, ma'am, she replied. Megan was just like, don't listen to him. Why are you telling her that? Asked what her reaction was. Harris said she was upset, confused. She testified she and Peterson had been intimate before she caught COVID and went to Houston. I don't know what's going on, she said. He's just saying that they had a relationship. They were having a relationship. An argument ensues and just discontinues. Me and her are arguing about her disloyalty. She said a lot of name calling broke out with everyone taking jabs at each other. She recalled telling prosecutors that Peterson called the women bitches and hoes. Then Todd started asking Harris about her recorded interview with prosecutors in September. Do you remember in this interview with another prosecutor and myself that you mentioned he threatened to shoot you? Todd asked. Do I have to answer that? Harris said, looking at the judge. Yes, Judge David Harris said. Yes, ma'am, Harris replied, confirming she made the claim Peterson threatened to shoot her. And this was in the car, correct? Todd asked. Yes, she replied. What did he do? What did he say? Todd asked. Can I take my fifth? Harris replied, leaving the stand to speak with her lawyer. When she returned, Harris again invoked her right against self-incrimination. Why don't you want to answer the question? Todd asked. I don't want to be here, Harris responded. Harris is due back on the witness stand Thursday, so She was due back on Thursday. Now, this is a hot ghettomess.com court case because, first of all, you have to testify. You're not going to get around it, Kelsey, because you were in that vehicle when all this was going down. Now, you invoke your rights. You tell them, I don't want to be here. You have this demeanor like, this is too much, and you kind of have an arrogance about you. So you're not the best witness for the prosecution. You're actually helping Tory indirectly, and I think you're doing it on purpose because you and Megan ain't friends no more. But to basically, invoke your Fifth Amendment because you don't want to answer the question, because answering the question when it involves what did he do and what did he say after Miss Tar basically blew up your spot and said you admitted that he threatened to shoot you. So to me, it seems like he was, according to Kelsey, he was going at all two of them females. Not just Megan. He was going to shoot Kelsey also. Now, here's the problem I have with all of this. All because they was at Kylie Jenner's house and she told them to get out when they returned because they left one of their shoes. This is embarrassing. This is all rooted in Tory talking to Kylie. And Kelsey, I'm going to be honest with you, Kelsey is a very pretty young lady. Why was you going to basically beef with your best friend over Tory Lanez, who's bald-headed? He does not have hair. He does not have hair. And this is a mess because in that industry, Kelsey, they're not going to touch Kelsey. They're going to still work with Megan before they work with her. Because Megan brings in money. You don't bring in money, girl. This is sad. This is all around sad. These young women, they don't I don't understand. I don't get it. But you know what I do get? Don't play stupid games because you will win stupid prizes. And that's a shout out to Monty Woodgrain, one of my favorite YouTubers, okay? He says that a lot. And this girl just had a baby. So I understand the whole postpartum because of the stress of all of this. And I just can't get over Tory Lanez. And Tory Lanez is not ugly. He's just short. But there's one thing that I don't understand. When they basically said that Megan said this man offered to pay him and her $1 million to shut up. To not talk. I doubt it because I don't think Tory Lanez's money is that long to be writing checks for $2 million, $1 million apiece. I don't believe that. But hey, you never know. So with that being said, I'm signing off. Thank you for listening. If you haven't hit the subscriber button, hit the notification bell, comment, share, like. I would love to hear your opinions about this because I know it's a hot button topic. And I'm going to be back later because there's some bombshell news that just came out involving Kelsey, all right? So stay tuned and later.